We'll call the Newman City Council Redevelopment Agency regular meeting of April 27th to order, please. Please stand for the pledge. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Please bow your head. Dear God, thank you for bringing us here together tonight. We ask that you watch over the city of Newman, and we ask that you give this council the wisdom and the strength to do the right things for this city. In this we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bob. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Davis?
Present.
Candia?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Martina?
Present.
Mayor Payne.
Present. Declaration of conflicts of interest. See, now we'll move to item 6, ceremonial matters. I don't think we have any this evening. We'll go to item 7, items from the public, non-agenda items. Any member of the public wish to address the council, please step to the podium, state your name and address.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Marlena Cardinal. I live at 496 Sumac Lane, Gilbert, and I've been here for going on 18 years. And I am the founder of Friends for Sophia's Dog Park. And I just wanted to bring you up to date on what's been happening with the dog park. I don't know if any of you have been by it to see what's been going on, but we're pretty proud of what's happening. Now, how do I turn my, oh, there we go, thank you. This is an overview of the park as we proposed it. You'll notice we have an area here called Canine Learning Enrichment Center. This is a digging area, and this is the entrance with a really nice pergola over the entrance. I'm just calling that out right now as we move forward. We started working on this park, but we've met some challenges because this is the first time we've really been involved in developing raw land. All of the other parks in Grayson and Turlock and Patterson on which we work have been dog parks inserted into existing parks. So all of the infrastructure was already in place. So this has been quite interesting, to say the least. Let's see here. One of the things that we found is we have a permanent lake in the park because it doesn't like to drain. So we met this challenge head on, and we were able to find an experienced grader who took care of that. He graded the park beautifully. It's now draining very nicely. And in addition to the lake, we had weeds galore, and we've been able to get rid of those. And we also had a lot of debris in the park. So we've been able to get a group of volunteers with the local Boy Scout troop, and this is Ron Jorgensen and Davis Freitas from the Boy Scout group and his friend Mike. They helped us clean up all the debris, and Ron was wonderful and loaned us his truck to haul it all away. And this was the same day, and that's Davis and Mike and doctors. Sullivan also helped us that day. There were several other people, and Dr. Sullivan brought her dogs for the inspection, so we passed. And here's what it looked like. Now, since then, we've also taken the weeds out. We've had weed abatement across the front and taken the weeds out, but we cleared the park and made it really nice. And then we got a group of Boy Scouts and volunteers together, and I believe there were 22 all total. And we planted trees along the perimeter, the two sides and the back. These will be shade trees. We'd like this park to be used every month of the year. And many dog parks don't have enough trees, and so they're just really not usable in the summertime. And we don't want that to happen here because we only have the one park. We also put up, even though there are houses all around that have their own fences, the 6-foot fences, we put up a double fence for safety to keep the neighbors' dogs from getting in and the dog park dogs getting into their yards. Here's another, this is along the back end of the neighborhood. I love this fence. It's almost invisible from the street. About the only thing that shows are this white safety caps, but it's a really nice looking fence. And then in addition to the shade trees around the perimeter, we noticed across the street at Sherman Park that there were crepe myrtle trees planted over there. And so we wanted to mirror the park across the street to make it as attractive as possible. So we planted the crepe myrtle in front. And as of today, we have actually 30 trees in the park. So it's really looking beautiful. This again is the what I was talking about, the Canine Learning Enrichment Center. And I wanted to let you know that just through personal contributions, individual donations, and fundraising activities with the local recycle group and with Burger King, we have raised $10,000 for the park. And we are putting every dime of that back into the park, as we are a 501c3 public charity. So all that money is directly going back in the park. So in addition, we also put in a drip system for all the trees so that they'll be really rooted solidly by summertime, hopefully. And we're now working with Tigert Corporation, and they're going to be donating the tunnels here. We're going to have 3 tunnels in this park. This is a different park. We're working with Big O Tires, and they're donating the tires that will be used as hurdles. We're working with David Valenzuelas, who is a local carpenter, and he's building the hurdles and the stairs and the ramp and the other activities for the dog. PG&E will be donating all of the ground cover to us here. In addition, we're working with Yancey Home Center and Johnson Landscaping, and both of them have been extremely cooperative in giving us wonderful price breaks and things so that we can get the most for our buck. So I just wanted to let you know that that we're working as fast and furious, and we plan to have the Canine Learning Enrichment Center like this with all the bright colors. We're going to have the digging area and the entryway concrete with the entryway pad and the pergola. We hope to have completed by the end of May. And we're now going out for grants in the hopes that we'll, let's see, let me turn this to the last one. We're now going out for grants to pay for the rest of the infrastructure, which will be the French drains, a drinking water system for people and the dogs, and a sprinkler system for the plants and the grass, and the decorative fencing that we want to put along the front. We don't want to put chain link fencing. We want to put a real nice fence along the front so it mirrors Sherman Park. So I just wanted to bring you up to date on what's been happening, and I hope all of you get an opportunity, if you haven't already, to go by and see the park. And I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Questions of Marlene? That's great. You're making great progress, Marlene. Great. It looks wonderful. Have you visited or seen the dog park in Merced on Yosemite and R Street?
Not yet. I have talked with them. In fact, I talked with them years ago before it even went in, and I've seen articles about it, but I have not been over there yet.
I've driven by it almost every other day or so, and it's really a nice one as well. Real
Good.
nice. Yeah. So great. There's no
Okay.
questions. All right.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. Okay. Any other member of the public? Okay, we'll move on to item 8, which is the consent calendar. Item A is waive all readings of ordinances and resolutions set by title. B is approve of warrants. And C is approval of the minutes of the April 13, 2010 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion, we accept the content calendar as is.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, public hearing. A, adopt resolution number 2010, next to number, resolution declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4.
Thank you, Mayor. The chief had to leave on official police business, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of this one for him. Originally, in your report, there were 2 addresses, 1115 Westeria and 410 Sumac. On the abatement list, as of today, 410 Sumac can be removed. But as you can see here, this particular property on West area definitely is an abatement issue. And as things start to warm up, that can also be a fire hazard. So we've done all the postings that are necessary. We've sent property owners and the registered property owner the required letters. It is unoccupied at this time. So we're asking that you hold a public hearing, declare this a nuisance. We'll take care of the situation and then put a lien on the property.
Any questions, Michael, before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing. Any member of the public wish to address the council?
In regard to this?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Public hearing's still open. Go ahead.
I would like to speak just because I live right next door to 410 Sumac Lane. And this is exactly what the 410 looked like. And as a neighbor and as a person living in that neighborhood, it is just abominable. I can't think of any other word. It's dangerous. Dogs and cats get into it. There's all kinds of stickers, and I mean, it's really, really a nuisance, and I think very dangerous. And I feel that absolutely this needs to be taken care of.
That's why we're moving on these, so thanks, Marlene. Okay, if there's no other comments, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council for direction.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2010, a resolution declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95.4-4.
I second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Go to item 10, regular business. Adopt resolution number 2010, next to number A, resolution approving the Pioneer Park landscaping project contract with B&M Builders. Garner?
Thank you, Mayor. The item for you tonight is to consider awarding a contract for the Pioneer Park landscaping project. This is the third phase of 3 that we've had with this project. Originally, this was a first phase was a CDBG project funded through the Stanislaus County Consortium. First phase consisted of the installation of some playground equipment and park restrooms. The second phase included the removal and replacement of a canopy, the installation of a new barbecue that was funded through the Rotary, which we really appreciate, and the miscellaneous concrete walkways and lighting. This third phase of the project is to start installing some landscape irrigation, some walkways, some trees, some ground cover, and bark along the perimeter of the park where it currently exists as dirt. We advertised for 2 weeks for the project and received bids on April 15th. We received a total of 6 bids for the project. It's included in your packet is a copy of the bid tabulation for your reference. The engineer's estimate for this project was $39,000. The lowest responsive bidder for this project was B&M Builders with a bid amount of $26,481.64. Therefore, staff recommends the City Council adopt a resolution awarding the bid for Pioneer Park Landscaping Project to B&M Builders for the bid amount of $26,481.64 and authorize the city manager to execute said agreement. At this time, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Any questions of Garner? All right, just a comment, just so people know. We did have a local bidder bid on it, but it's interesting. You come in $6,000 more than somebody from Sacramento.
Sacramento.
It just,
That we noticed that too, and it was kind of surprising that somebody from that far away. So I'm thinking that with the landscaping contractors, as many as they are, probably fairly competitive, so they're willing to travel just to get additional work. And B&M Builders originally started out as a construction contractor, and they're moving into, for several years now, they've been doing more than just constructing homes.
yeah. No, it's just too bad. I wish local people could come in and at least be a little bit closer. I wouldn't mind, but $6,000 is a lot to,
Percentage-wise, it's quite
Yeah.
a bit,
yeah,
unfortunately.
unfortunate. Okay, council direction?
I so move that we adopt resolution number 2010, next number, awarding the Pioneer Park Landscaping Project to B&M Builders for $26,481.64 and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Item B, reject the bids for the Orstemba feasibility study flood control soil borings project. Garner again?
Thank you, Mayor. This item for you tonight is consider rejecting the bids for the Orstemba feasibility study flood control project soil borings. In January 1996, the Stanislaus County prepared a hazard mitigation grant application, and in 1998, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers initiated the Orstemba feasibility flood control study. In order to finish the study, the Corps is requesting that soil borings be taken along the proposed alignment for the Chevron levee. Didn't get into really a lot of detail on what the proposed alignment is, but they're proposing to align this along the CCID canal down to a point about the farm road and then come over. And they would like us to come in or someone to come in and take soil borings along that alignment so they can see what the soil borings are for help design of the Chevron levees. Therefore, the Corps of Engineers in Stanislaus County at this time is asking if the city could provide these services as what's considered work in kind for this type of work as a local cost sharing. The Corps of Engineers estimates if they were to do the work at about $165,000. Funding for those services will allow the feasibility study to be completed and the project to be eligible for federal and state grant fundings. Not state grant funding, but federal and state funding opportunities. Therefore, the Public Works Department went out and advertised for bids and received a total of 2 bids for the work. One bid came in from Neil O. Anderson at $72,265 and another one from Moore Twining and Associates for $81,500. The engineer's estimate for the project was approximately $50,000. The lowest responsible bidder being Neil O. Anderson at a bid amount of $72,265. However, we consider this bid to be significantly higher than our engineer's estimate, and at this time we're recommending to council that they reject the bid, that I would go in and do some minor changes to the scope of work, rebid the project, and hopefully receive some lower bids at this time. Therefore, staff's recommendation is to reject the bids and to authorize us to re-advertise for the project. At this time, if there's any question, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions of Garner? We had talked about it, and it was kind of stunned the amount of money that came in for those borings at $72,000. We were thinking maybe line 40, maybe 50,000 tops. So they came in at 72,000. So I think it's proper that that we reject this, and hopefully with Garner can restructure the bid, maybe go out and get a more competitive bids for this boring. 72,000 was just a lot of money, and they wanted a lot of borings. 26.
I'd have to look at the bid, but there was 22 or 24 total soil
quite
borings.
a few bids, and which that in itself was, we thought was a lot that the Corps
About every
requested.
1,000 feet along the alignment.
Yeah. So, at any rate, if there's no other questions for Garner,
How far down do they have to go on these borings?
How far down?
Yeah.
They typically will go down between 40 to 60 feet, depending on what they encounter as they go down. And then they'll be taking various samples as they go down, bagging those, taking those back to the lab for analysis. That'll help them determine the structural stability of the soils, and it helps them better determine how they're going to construct those levees. And originally, this was not in the feasibility study, but late in the game, I don't know who added it to it. I think it was Department of Water Resources come in and said we needed these soil borings. We just found out about this approximately a month and a half, 2 months ago, so I quickly moved to get a cost estimate because the Corps wanted too much money for this work, and they're out of funding for this project.
Thank you.
council direction.
I'll make a motion, we reject the bid for the Orstemba feasibility study flood control soil borings project.
I'll second that motion.
Been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item C is report of estimated cost for a proposed increase of assessments within the landscape and lighting district for the preparation of the assessment district engineer's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The item for you tonight is a report, as you stated, for the estimated cost for proposed increase to the assessment districts in the city of Newman for the assessment district engineer's report. If I can get the PowerPoint to work. I have a PowerPoint for us. There we go. In accordance with the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972, the city has 15 zones within the district representing approximately 40% of the city, of the area of the city, for the continuous operation and maintenance of lighting, parks, and landscape areas. At the previous city council meeting of April 13th, the council initiated proceedings for a proposed increase in the assessments for the lighting and landscape district, and at the same time authorized staff to provide an estimate of other improvements that are allowed within the Lighting and Landscape Act of 1972. So what I did, I put together what the existing improvements are, what they cost us for 2009 and 2010, The existing improvements include the street lighting, the operation and maintenance of the street lighting, the landscape areas in the parks, and Zone 14 includes for some storm drainage and other miscellaneous improvements. The 2009-2010 engineers report estimated that the cost for those associated improvements to operate and maintain them was $214,973.25. We went through and we analyzed and looked at the cost to currently provide those services. For 2010-11, we estimate the cost at $251,534.24 for a difference of $36,560.99. The reason for the increase is that zones 1 through 12 have not had an increase since their inception into the zones. We established the zones back in 1985 through now, so some zones haven't had any increases in over 20 years. This equates to an average yearly increase per lot of approximately $13.80. That's an average per lot. It equates to a monthly average per lot of about $1.15. I apologize for the slides being so low, but so what we did is we figured what the average increase per lot would be for just to continue what we're doing, and that's what we came up with. As per council directions, we looked at some other improvements such as graffiti abatement, storm drainage, sidewalks, and block walls, and what those costs would be as per the Lighting and Landscape Act of 1972. For graffiti abatement, we estimate that we would remove 100% of the graffiti abatement every year, and for a yearly average cost per lot of about $2.28, or a monthly cost of about 19 cents, an average cost per lot for graffiti abatement. For storm drainage, we would be looking at an estimated average increase per lot of $3.72, or a monthly of 31 cents per lot. A little bit of clarification on this one. We figured a 25-year life cycle on the improvements for the storm drainage pumps and things of that nature. Spread that over 25 years and then took 15% of that annually, and that's how we came up with that figure. For sidewalks, it's estimated that it would be $5.28 on an average increase per lot per year, and for a monthly of 44 cents. This is based on a 40-year life cycle. Sidewalks tend to last quite a bit longer than pump stations and things of that nature, so we did a 40-year life cycle and figured 10% of that per year. For block walls, the average increase per lot yearly was $2.28, or 19 cents per month on an average basis. And that was the same thing. We did a 40-year life cycle on the cost of the block wall, and we estimated about 10% of that per year. Now, the costs that we're showing are current bids that we've received for block walls and for sidewalk replacements. So we based it on today's dollars. By including these improvements within the district, this would help the city to establish a maintenance and repair fund for these improvements over the long term. This would allow us to continue the repair and replacement of these amenities, keep them in a safe, vigorous, and satisfactory condition, and provide for the continued life, growth, and health of the community. One thing I should note is that currently, if we were to have somebody go through one of our block walls and we had to go in and they didn't have their funds they didn't have insurance, or we couldn't collect to repair that, it would be a general fund expenditure to replace that block wall, and at about $110 a lineal foot. For sidewalks, the same thing. Over the life of a community, the trees, as they mature, they're going to start raising our curb gutters and sidewalks, and then we're going to have to start going in and doing repair and maintenance on those. The $5.28 per year on an average lot would start establishing a fund, so years down the road, as we collect 10 years or 15 years of funds, then we have a fund that we could pull out of to start repairing those sidewalks. A little bit on the Proposition 2. Is there any questions on the costs on these, or how I come up with these figures before I move into the
Questions,
218
Governor,
process?
before he moves on?
No, I hate to see that graffiti one. That really irritates me. It's unfortunate. This day and age, you have to provide for funds to take care of graffiti. It's just, I know it's out there and these are good numbers, but I'm just saying it's sad.
It's not a lot of money. It's 19 cents on an average lot per month.
I know.
It would really help to benefit the city to make sure we have that graffiti abated quickly as we can. Okay, so the 218 process, I'd like to kind of give you a little update on what the 218 process would involve. For a typical utility rate increase, it's based on the number of no votes you receive back on your ballots, and you have to receive 50% plus one vote back. However, for assessment districts, it's different. For assessment districts, it's based on the majority of yes votes returned versus no votes. So if we receive one more yes vote than no vote, then it passes. Vice versa, if we receive one more no vote than yes vote, then it fails. However, it's also based on the financial obligation of the parcel. Some assessment districts, it's more per parcel than other assessment districts. So parcel A, the assessment is $100 per lot. Parcel B, the assessment is $50 per lot on an annual basis. The parcel A basically has 2-to-1 votes over parcel B. So it's critical that people understand how the balloting process is going to work, and it's critical that we get these ballots returned to us. If the assessment does not pass, then we would fall back to the 2009-2010 assessment, and we probably will be looking at ways of reducing services to stay within the budget. And unfortunately, it would include some of the amenities that we enjoy in our nice landscape and lighting districts, the entryways and Sherman Parkway and things of that nature. On May 11th, after I receive council's direction, we will be drafting the engineer's report to bring back to council for consideration and adoption based on your direction tonight. Therefore, tonight I'm asking for council's direction on those improvements that they would like to include within the district at this time so we can move forward to prepare your engineer's report. And that concludes my presentation for tonight.
Any questions of Garner? If there's no questions, council direction then.
Yeah, I'd like to move forward, and I think these monthly charges are warranted, and I think we should go ahead with your report.
With all the improvements?
Yes.
As proposed? Okay.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Garner. Item D is rescind resolution number 2010, number 16, establishing a pre-qualification procedure for construction of the City of Newman Historic Downtown Plaza project.
I forgot the staff report. I'll be right back. Yeah. Don't seem to have it. Good evening, council. The item for you tonight is consider adopting a resolution rescinding resolution number 2016, establishing a pre-qualification procedure that we established in the previous city council meeting for the historic Newman Downtown Plaza project. Back in March 9th of 2010, I came to council and requested that we establish this pre-qualification procedure. Unfortunately, we only received 2 bids as of April 21st at the deadline that were qualified to bid on the project. Therefore, we feel that this is not enough for a qualified, competitive bid process. Therefore, tonight we're asking for council to consider rescinding this resolution and then opening it up to allow more competitive bidders at this time. Therefore, the staff's recommendation to staff to council is that we rescind the resolution rescinding resolution 2010-16 that established the pre-qualification procedure for the construction of the Newman Plaza project. If there's any questions at this time, we'd be happy to answer them for you.
Garner, we established the resolution, one, to give us what we thought would be a better list of qualified bidders.
Correct.
Construction, and obviously that didn't happen. Is this going to work in reverse now to the issues that we wanted to avoid by going to the pre-qualification? Is this going to?
We established the pre-qualification procedure to ensure that we could get a good qualified contractor that would give us a great product. Within the specifications, we do have some requirements of the subcontractors, which are be more what we're looking at as the concrete contractors, to ensure that we can get a good product. And we're also going to be relying on the construction management services and the quality control plan that we have adopted within the specifications and our construction manager to ensure that we can get the product that we desire out of the Plaza project. So we're going to fall back onto that, to rely on that, and that the subs are going to, the general contractor that is the lowest responsible bidder will then be required to show us that they have qualified subcontractors at that point. So we're going to be relying on ourselves more so. I think if we move forward with just 2 bidders, then we have the opportunity to not get competitive bids. Some of the bidders actually, two of the bidders did not meet the time frame. I guess they didn't see the bid date properly. One didn't show up to the mandatory pre-bid meeting, and another one did not make the time frame for the pre-qualification procedure. So two bidders did not even make that. In addition to this, what we're also looking at doing is moving the bid date from May 27th to May 20th, and coming back to council on May 25th for recommendation on the lowest responsible bidder. That'll increase us about 14 more days of the construction period too, to allow more time to get this project constructed.
And can we kind of be aware, I guess I would be concerned with somebody then coming in really, really low, because what I've seen happen before is then that's when all the change order process starts coming through, and they try to make up some of that
Right.
that ground that they've lost regarding a low bid. So I just think, we just need to be really cognizant of that and really
Yes.
pay attention, and hopefully, low bids are good, but sometimes I think is why we try to avoid, by having pre-qualification, as may come in the low ball the other companies, and then
And the intent was that we could get some good qualified contractors, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. So now we're gonna fall back and rely on myself and my staff that's gonna be doing the construction management services to ensure we get the product that we desire. That's probably the best we could do at this point in time. I don't think that Caltrans would be happy if we only had two prospective bidders on the project and considered that a competitive bid process.
yeah.
So they have some pretty strict regulations on that. I think they would like to see at least 3 competitive bidders. We only received 2 at this time. I'm open to suggestions. But in speaking with their city engineer and the designer on their project, they both recommended that we look at this too and fall back on our specifications, which are pretty tight, requiring experience in specific trades such as the stamp colored concrete that we're going to be putting in to ensure that we get the product we desire. And it's going to take a bit more work on our part to ensure that happens.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep an eye on them.
We'll be giving you continuous updates as we go along. Yes. So, any other questions?
Any other questions, Gordon? Council direction?
I'll make a motion, we rescind resolution 2010-16, establishing a pre-qualification procedure for the construction of the City of Newman Historic Downtown Plaza project.
I second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Garner. Item E is adopt resolution number 2010, next number, a resolution accepting and adopting the City of Newman personnel rules. I assume everybody's had an opportunity to read that.
Yeah, and Mayor, at this time, staff recommends that the council continue this item to May 11th. That would give us a little bit more time to work with our employee groups.
Okay. City manager recommended we continue this to the May 11th meeting. So with that, just a motion to continue be sufficient.
So moved.
Motion to continue, is there a second?
Second.
Roberta, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Go to item 11, items from District 5, Stanislaus County Supervisor Jim DeMartini. Hello again, Jim.
Good evening, Mayor Caton, council members. Did see the mayor this morning, the city manager with the StanCog meeting this morning, so it was nice of you to come to Modesto for that.
We had to make up for you coming out here all the time.
That's my third time in 4 days. So it was always nice to be in Newman. It's really a nice city. The only thing I have for you tonight is the Healthcare Task Force. The meeting will be Thursday, April 29th, and it will not be in Gustine, but it's been moved to Patterson to the Del Puerto Healthcare District's going to be a new facility. They still have the tenant improvements to do. They're not in there yet, but they have bought the building. Our meeting will start at 6:30, but the healthcare district is opening up at 5 o'clock, and we'll have a little program around 5:30 or so. Everybody from the public is certainly welcome to come. It's not just for the healthcare task force. So hopefully people from Newman will come and see this new facility. They're going to be moving from their facility on Ward Avenue as soon as they get the tenant improvements done over to Baldwin Road at the Keystone Business Park. So we hope to see you all there. We also have the hikes and bikes as part of the Healthy Lifestyles program. The next hike for the to the Del Puerto Canyon will be May 22nd. I'm going to go on that. I went to one already and I enjoyed it so much. I'm going to do another one. So we have. I didn't bring the schedule for the bikes, but I believe that's the third Saturday of the month, and then the hikes are the fourth Saturday of the month. We will, at our meeting of the task force, work on our next summit, which will be in August. We intend to do this in Newman again. Last year we did it at the West Side Theater. I think we'll do it again. And with the summit, we will begin our Biggest Loser contest, also challenging the city of Newman to lose weight along with the competition from the city of Patterson and Gustine. You know, Gustine won last year, so Newman was
cheated.
a very
They
close
cheated.
second. They might have. I don't know, but we will have our ag commissioner come out and then certify the weight again this year. So we have a lot of things to work on for programs for healthy lifestyles. Also, there's some grants that Keith Boggs from the CEO's department has put in for funding for the task force. And so we'll have a lot on the agenda, and we plan to continue on with what we're doing. We've got a year of activities under our belt now. We really have a pretty good grasp of what we need to do and where we're going to go with the task force. And that's all I have for that. I don't really have any comments on the Orostimba flood control program at this time. You know, that project has been slowed down by the Corps of Engineers and the Water Resources Board. But Stanislaus County will be there with some funding for the program. And we went to Washington, D.C. just a few weeks ago, too, and I did meet with the Intergovernmental Affairs Office, the Corps of Engineers, and the Governor's Office in Washington, D.C., and the Orostimba, and Congressman Cardozo's office. And this project was brought up at all these meetings for continued funding and to try and get, get out of planning and into the design, which we've been trying to do for 14 years now. But we're getting close.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Items from the city manager and staff.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a heads up, our staff is currently working on our per capita grant project list for the council review, and we believe that we'll bring that before you in May. Just to maybe draw your attention, we reminded you probably a couple months ago that the state or the city had some monies on a per capita recreation grant. So what we did is we went out and asked our rec commissioners as well as our planning commissioners to come forward and to recommend projects that we could then forward to you on how to enhance our parks and recreational facilities. And we believe we'll be presenting that project to you in May. We have about another 12 months to complete the project. So we'll provide you a master list and then allow you to make some decisions based upon that list and the recommendations. Reminder, on Thursday of this week in the council chambers at 7 p.m. We'll be having our RDA plan amendment public workshop. So a lot of the people in this community received a flyer, a public notice about the redevelopment agency and tax increment and raising cap limits and all that, and there was a lot of questions. This open house workshop is designed to answer those questions, so please feel free to attend. Again, that'll be at 7 p.m. here in the chamber.
What day, Michael?
That'll be Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
An exciting event, we believe, is coming together nicely. May 22nd, our recreation department is planning an outdoor movie night for families. So at this point in time, it's going to be at Barrington Park. because of some of the accommodations for electricity and the layout and the like. We'll be renting a giant inflatable screen, and we'll be providing a high definition movie free of charge to all the families within our community. So once it starts getting a little bit darker, the movie will start. It'll be free to the public. We're working right now with the baseball board to see if they'd be willing to keep their snack bar open and have a low-cost entertainment night for families. And keep our fingers crossed. If this is successful, then maybe these are things that we can continue to do into the future. Maybe have 2 or 3 of them. They're quite popular in Turlock, and I believe in Modesto as well. It's just a good way to bring the community together, meet your neighbors, have a good night, and see a good movie. My recollection tells me it's going to be cloudy with a chance of meatballs. That'll be the movie. So, it's a cartoon movie. We're again targeting young families. So,
What date is that?
May 22nd.
May 22nd, which is a Saturday. So,
Bring your off.
next Saturday, the 8th, will be the fire department's tri-tip barbecue. If you have not gotten your tickets yet, please call Mel Souza. I'm sure he'd be more than willing to sell you a couple of those. This council, for the last couple of years now, has authorized staff to expend our community development block grant funds for community computer training. These training classes occur at the Bob McConnell Center at the Von Renner School. We now have our 2010-11 fiscal year schedule set, and we'll be posting that on the website this summer. These classes are very helpful. They're very educational. Again, they have a value of about $200+ if you were to take this from the private industry. So please take advantage of that if you can. Beginning on May 1st, our building department will be closed on Fridays, and that's just due to slowdown of the economy and not getting any inspections. Our water conservation program is now in effect and will continue through November 15th. No watering from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And let's see. I just got a few more things. Solid waste rates. We did a Prop 218. Those are now in effect. So you should probably be seeing that on your next bill. Budget. It's probably time to start talking about presentations. I believe the last time we went through this process, the first meeting in June was a workshop with the anticipated adoption at the second meeting in June. We'd like to get that to you out early. Our goal is to get it out before Memorial Day weekend. That would give you 2 weeks to review the budget. So I don't hear any difference. We're going to go ahead and proceed with that. The last time we did this, this year is June 8th. We had that meeting at 6 p.m. Does that still work for everybody? 6 p.m. on? Okay. We'll continue to remind you as we move forward. And that's all that I had at this point. Thank
Any
you.
questions for Michael?
No, just that outdoor movie, whatever you're gonna call it. It's a great idea. I don't know what staff member came up with it, but that's a great thing for the community.
Yeah, and our recreation department's doing an excellent job. She's trying to go out right now and get sponsors to help eliminate some of those costs. So if there are people out in the community that would like to sponsor this event for, I think for $100, you get your slide. There'll be your slide with the name of your business and phone number, and contact information will be displayed for an hour before the movie actually starts up there. So you'll get free advertisement for an hour, and it also will. It goes to a good cause.
Very good.
Excellent. Okay. Garner, you have anything else? Chief? Sergeant Richardson, you have anything? Oh, Chief.
Good evening. Greetings, Mr. Mayor and council members. Reminder, laundry list of events approaching. This Saturday, May 1st, is the next animal control clinic, 9 a.m. to 12 at Pioneer Park. So for those watching, if you have animals that are due for vaccination, new license, or you're approaching that, or you have spay or neuter, certainly it's a low-cost animal clinic. We offer that twice a year. So Pioneer Park, 9 to 12 p.m. this Saturday, May 1st. Other than that, I think as most of you know, tonight will be my last night presenting to you. I'll be departing the city next Wednesday, the 5th. That'll be my last day serving the city of Newman. Just wanted to thank you for the opportunity and enjoyed every single day that I've been here. And I think we've made some progress together in the department, and I'm confident that train will continue to move down the tracks, and we'll raise that bar even more long after I'm gone. It's really the people in the department that did all the work, not me. So nothing will change when I leave. So thank you very much. It's mixed emotions, I think. With everything, it's I'll definitely miss working here and the people in the community. So,
Chief, you've done a fantastic job. I think it's no secret, and it's just the police department is just a representative of your leadership, and I have to tell you, I just can't be prouder of our department and the goals and the achievements that under your leadership that you've brought the department along, and it's going to be tough, but it's tough having your family away from you, and I totally understand, and I wish there's a way we could work it out, but just like thank you for your service, and you've done a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. Gardner?
Just a couple of things for you, council members and mayor. April 20th, we had a downtown merchant meeting here in the council chambers. We had that attended by approximately 15 business owners. It seemed like it went fairly well. We had some good input. We're going to take those comments and questions, and we're going to draft them into some frequently asked questions. We'll post that on the website. And one of the comments that came out of the meeting that I really appreciated was the idea about developing maybe a 4x6 card that we can hand out to the merchants and maybe some of the patrons downtown before and during the construction of the project. And I'm thinking it will probably put a little map on the back about recommended parking areas instead of Main Street for their employees and things of that nature. But so we'll be putting that online. May 15th is a nice day coming up for us. In addition to the karate tournament that's going to be happening, we also have the tentative date for finishing the tree wells downtown. And that kind of segues me into my next PowerPoint presentation that I have, which is the City of Newman's Downtown Flower Power Coalition at work. On April 17th, we had approximately 100 plus people show up. I know this is in the paper, it's kind of rehashed, but I was kind of proud of how many people and volunteers we had show up for the project. Just kind of quickly go through some of the slides. We also had a dedication of the park bench for Ricky Dykes that brought quite a few emotions out. Here's kind of a nice picture of representative of what we like to see. We also had some good volunteers from police department. Unfortunately, the staff pulled out the public works or the city hall people from the PowerPoint presentation, but that's okay. Here's some more volunteers that happened. Every pot, we had 34 pots that were planted throughout the downtown area, and then we had so many volunteers, we went into the tree wells and started revamping the tree wells. And I know Councilmember Martina was there, and Mayor Caton was there as well. So just kind of flashing through some of the pictures, it went very smooth. We had a lot of volunteers. I would like to thank the Public Works Department for their hard work and the Newman Downtown Flower Power Coalition at work. And that's all I have.
It was a great Saturday, and it went. Yeah. There's so many people there. It went so quick, and everybody just jumped right in. And I have to say, I think what I was impressed with and really happy to see was the amount of young people, teenagers, high school kids that showed up to participate. And it's. I hope that with those kids that showed up, that they'll take a little extra pride in what they did, and hopefully, if they witness or see any of their peers doing damage, and or they'll step it up and say something.
That would
It
be
was-
nice.
It was great. It was a great Saturday. And unfortunately, I won't be here on the 15th of May to participate, but I'm sure there'll be another strong showing.
We expect to be a little smaller showing, actually, because there's not as much work to do, but it'd still be a strong showing, I believe.
It was great, and all your staff, Garner, just jumped in and they did a great job, and it was a great morning. I know, Dave.
Garner, what time does it start on?
I don't think they've established a time, but I would expect it to start about the same time as the last one, around 8 o'clock in the morning.
We're putting flags out, that's Armed Forces Day.
Okay.
And it'll be about 7 o'clock we put those out, will I interfere with them?
It won't interfere with us. We'll ensure that it doesn't. As we get more information, hopefully the next council meeting, I'll have that nailed down with Susan Matos, who's helping put this on, and we'll get some. But no, that we won't make sure it won't interfere with you.
Thank you, Garner.
That's all I have.
All right. No other staff, council members, Roberta.
I would like to remind everybody of the karate tournament, May 15th at Yolo School.
Karate tournament, May 15th at YOLO. Nick, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Bob?
Yeah, I would just like to personally thank the chief for everything that he's done for our city. You know, we can't take it for granted, you know, it took us a long time to find the right person. And when we found Adam, we knew we had the right person. And, you know, it's sad in some ways to see him go, but of course we want to see him grow. And this is great for him and great for his family. So we're proud to have had you as long as we had you, Adam. And we wish you nothing but the best on your new journey. Thank you so much.
I'll ditto those comments. And the other thing, I'd just like to congratulate the police department. They had a great crab feed Saturday. The guys worked their tails off. There's a lot of work going on, and it was fun. It was a long evening with all the auction items they had and all the raffle items they had. And I don't know how many people showed up. The place was packed. There's 440 people, and the crab was wonderful. The salad, the pasta, and everything. It was a great evening. It was a lot of fun. I didn't win anything. All the raffle tickets I bought, but it was fun. It was a good evening, and so congratulations on another great crab feed. If there's nothing else, we're going to adjourn to closed session. Public employment. Police Chief, Government Code 54957. Public Employment Finance Director, Government Code 54957. Item C, Conference with Labor Negotiator, Operating Engineers Local 3, Miscellaneous Bargaining Unit, Government Code 54957.6. And D, Conference with Labor Negotiator, Operating Engineers Local 3, Police Bargaining Unit, Government Code 54957.6. We're in closed session.